Welcome everyone to the very first SERP focus segment. Now, the SERP focus segments, I'm not sure exactly how often we're going to have these things, if it's going to be daily, weekly, but I want to start this series up this year and really get them out there. And what we're going to be doing in this series, I'll be taking questions from the Facebook group, from other Facebook groups, general things I'm seeing people, say online, question online, different blog posts, and kind of commenting, going over answers, adding to the information and really just trying to make some sense of everything that's going on out there in the internet world when it comes to SEO, because there's so much information out there, so many questions, and I don't have time to answer everyone's questions, and I don't always have time to get into individual conversations with everyone and talk about a blog article or talk about some recent news or Google updates. So I've decided to start SERP focus segments. This is the very first one, and this is going to be about proper PBN niche theming. Now, this is a concept that a lot of people talk about in the SEO industry, and essentially what it is when you build out your private blog network, it's a question of, are you supposed to create a general site, or kind of put you can put multiple links for multiple different niches, or do you want to keep that site super niche themed? If you're trying to rank for roofing Chicago, do you make your PBN all about roofing? Do you only talk about roofing and shingle and replacements and all that kind of stuff? Or do you go more general maybe and do home improvement and link to some plumbing sites and some other different type of sites? Or do you go just completely wide range, and maybe you're linking to a roofer and a financial institution and all these different types of niches? And there's a lot of different things and a lot of different opinions that you'll hear when you're talking to people about how you should handle theming your PBN. And the one thing I really wanted to go over today is this blog post I came across by SERP Drive. And in this post, they pretty much talk about the importance of domain relevance. So I'm not going to read through this entire thing here. You can look through it, but essentially what they're looking at is they're kind of analyzing the data to see how many of the big authoritative sites, or the sites that are ranking very well, actually have a high percentage of niche relevant backlinks, meaning websites that have specifically to do with what their niche is, that are linking back to their domain. So when looking at the data, the one thing they found is that a lot of websites, of course, have a lot of general backlinks. Okay, they don't just come from websites, that are about 100% what their website is about. And we probably, you could probably figure this out on your own already, because when you think of social media, citations, any of the general Web 2.0s, of course, those sites aren't going to be hugely relevant, right? A citation backlink isn't going to be 100% relevant for your niche unless it's a niche specific citation, right? But there's a lot more general citations out there than niche specific ones. So what it really comes down to is, what are the percentages of links that are coming in that are niche themed, and what does that really tell us about our PBN? So I don't want to extend. I'm not going to read through this whole thing here. I'm going to scroll down here to the conclusion and just make some final comments and point out some things that some people may not have really thought about when it comes to theming their PBNs. And of course, you're welcome to come here and read over this post as well. But the one thing that they noticed, like I said, is that a large variety of PBNs, or a large variety of websites, have a big chunk of links that are not niche relevant. As it says right here, real websites link to a huge variety of niches and receive links from a huge variety of niches. And that makes sense. Again, if you're looking at authority sites like Wikipedia or directory sites or anything that, the whole site's not going to be based around your niche. And the thing that you have to consider right here is the most important sense, I think, of this entire article is PBN should mimic the way real sites link to one another as closely as possible. Now, I'm sure everyone's thinking, well, duh, keep it natural. That's the common way to phrase it, right? Make it natural. Well, what does that really mean? That doesn't just mean, build a website and don't just put all your links on the home page, or don't follow the standard blog network setup, because a lot of those things can be natural. That's what you have to consider, that this could happen, right? Having a website with just a few posts on the home page, maybe you're posting some other content, linking to all different types of site, different types of content, like these things exist. Okay, there's general sites, there's news sites, there's all different types of things going on the internet. It's a very, very large space. So what does it mean when it comes to natural? Well, when we're looking and talking about natural, what I'm talking about mostly is what Google is already looking at as natural, right? So if a website's ranking number one for a keyword, number two, it's not like it used to be where you just can send like large amounts of spam, and you might be looking at a site that, is probably going to disappear in like a week or two because it's been just hammered with links. When you see a site ranking nowadays, you can essentially look at the links, look at what's been done, and you can tell right away that this is a site that is ranking due to authority, ranking due to relevance, seeing what type of signals that are being sent. And these signals are the core of what you're trying to mimic with your PBN. Okay, so if that makes sense, if you're trying to rank for a keyword like a home improvement website, right, a little roofing website, small town plumbing, something like that, a lot of those competitive sites or competition, they don't have major high authority backlinks. Some of them do, some of them don't, but it's the type of backlinks that you need to be concerned with, the type of signals that you need to be concerned with. If your competitors have a lot of footer links, you might choose to put some footer links on your PBNs, right? You might choose to put some footer links on your PBNs that aren't necessarily themed, right? If you're in the web design niche, you got links from probably all types of websites that you've built that are in all different kinds of niches. And those links are sending authority. Now, they're not necessarily sending the most relevance, and to say that relevance isn't important is not true. Relevance is important. But when you're looking at relevance from a natural standpoint, when is relevance not natural? Well, if you build out 10 or 20 websites and you're trying to rank for Chicago roofing, and 10 or 20, all 10 or 20 websites are nothing about roof, it's just all about roofing, just all about how to re-roof a home, how to tell if your roof is old, how to replace a shingle, what a new roof consists of, roofing, building materials. If you have 20 sites that are all about that one thing and they're all linking to the same website, it's not really a natural linking pattern, not really a natural relevance pattern, essentially, right? And I don't know as a fact Google can understand people trying to game relevance, but I wouldn't be surprised because they've kind of already done that looking at keyword density and things like that in anchor text. But when you're actually looking at the relevance of a website or what's natural with website relevance, that's where you really have to kind of think in a natural way, I guess is the best way to say it. So for example, if you have a car rental website, or a car loan website, right? Because they're kind of two different niches, but they're both within cars. One's financial, one's more transportation. But either one of those would work in a transportation niche. They would work in a home and family niche. If talking about transportation, traveling. If you're traveling and you need to rent a car, that would work. Technology. I mean, cars definitely fit into technology. Nowadays, you could easily put a link for a rent-a-car site on a technology-based website if you theme that properly. And if you're talking, say, about the health niche, anything related to health can fit into so many different categories. Aside from even, like I said, technology plays a huge part in the health industry now. And when you're talking about the law niche, I mean, that just stretches forever. The law encompasses everything essentially. So that's what you really have to think about, is it's not about making this perfectly niched theme PBN. When I build out my PBNs, the PBNs that we sell on SERP Focus, they're niche themed, as in the site is generalized around an idea, right? A concept. But it doesn't mean we don't link out to other sources that don't 100% align with that concept, right? So if it's like a house and home website, and say we're talking about, maybe remodeling and home improvement, we might also link to a mortgage website, or a loan website talking about getting a small loan to build the extension on your house, or to finance um, the upgrades or renovations on your home, something like that. Now we're not going to do a whole post about financials and loans and rates and all that because it's not a financial site, but we will make a post talking about the importance of cost and money and figuring out these things, and then obviously reference maybe a site that you could get a loan from for home renovations and things like that. So understanding niche relevance on a level that it's a natural relevance. I wouldn't suggest making all your PBNs 100% general, but I also don't suggest making them all so niche specific that it doesn't make sense, right? And if you're buying an expired domain, right, a little expired domain costs $10, has a few backlinks, and you put a link on it, you don't have to think too hard about this, right? But a lot of my sites, I'm investing $100, $300, $500 or more into one website. So these are authority websites. Like that's the point of this is authority, to send authority to my website to boost its rankings. And once you get that authority involved, you can tie in relevance in many different ways. Like I just said, you can fit niches into all different types of sub niches or wider range of niches. It all comes down to the way you're structuring the content and the content around your posts on your PBN. So do a blog post, about renovating your home and mention a home loan company or something like that, and maybe do one or two other posts talking about the financial burdens of renovations, or just kind of things that can tie in with that subject and kind of build up that not really relevance in the sense where you're just making it all about what you're trying to reference, but you're kind of painting a picture that we're talking about adding an extension to our home. We're talking about things that involve money. We're talking about loan rates and things like that, even though it's coming from a home website. So I hope that kind of opens up your mind a little bit. You could read through this blog post a little bit here. There's a lot of good information, a lot of data that they sat down and took a lot of time to kind of look over. But at the end of the day, this is probably your most important sentence right here. PBN should mimic the way real sites link to to one another as closely as possible. So regardless of whether you think niching down very tight is the best way to do it, or being completely broad is the best way to do it, look at the competition, see what type of links they got, and more importantly, a big part of my strategy when using PBNs, like I said, I use that to push a lot of authority, and there is some relevance, but get your competitors' links. Go look in Majestic, go look in Ahrefs, get your competitors' links, get the links that they have, at least the good ones. If it's niche relevant, get those, and then you can use your PBN to push that authority. You know what I mean? You don't really have to worry so much about getting this exact niche relevance on every little thing. You should be able to paint that picture without the authority. It's easy to paint a picture of relevance because it all comes down to content and referencing, right? But when it comes down to authority, now you need something that has a history that Google trusts that is referencing you. So keep that all in mind. Again, read over the post. More importantly, what look at what other sites are doing in your niche, and look at how many of their links are coming from relevant websites or relevant authority websites within your industry. So that's it for the very first SERP focus segment. I hope everyone enjoyed it. Watch out for future SERP focus segments. That's it for proper PBN niche theming. This is Mike, and thanks for watching.